Atta Hasnain of the NDMA with us? Can you hear me, sir?
Perfectly, absolutely, strength 5. Arnab.
General Hasnain? Oh, great, okay, fantastic.
I can hear you
can't
very
see
well.
you yet on air, so I can't make out, but what an operation. You know, all of us for the last few days, we watched your press conferences, General Hasnain. You seem to be very methodical about it, in the way you explained it. You didn't seem stressed. You were working to a plan. At any point of time, especially when the auger machine failed, was there a moment of doubt?
See, Arnab, I was very clear what the mission was. The mission given to me was to make sure that the right, transparent message is reaching the public in India. There should be no exaggeration. There should be no false hopes. There should be a correct perspective given to people to hope for what is realistic. I was following that brief completely, which was given to me by the PMO. And I can assure you, we followed that, but yes, your question is absolutely valid. At the particular time when technology started failing us on this horizontal probe we were making, I was also very clear that we have got alternative methods. We had 6 methods going in simultaneously. 3 of them had still not been launched. The equipment was still being brought from all over the country by all different means. We had the alternative of vertical tunneling, which we were about to commence at that time. We took the decision to commence it, despite the fact that it would cause some vibrations on the ground, etc., but that little risk could be taken. But you're right, there was an impending disappointment in the air that we are not succeeding, and we've still got 10 to 15 meters perhaps left. The estimate was 62 meters at that time. It made a world of a difference. You just spoke to all those people who made that difference, the rat miners, the army engineers, the NHDICL people. These people are capable, particularly the rat miners, are capable of working in enclosed space. Not an easy thing. I can tell you, Arnab, I've crawled up in the Siachen Glacier through a 50-60 meter tunnel. At the end of it, I thought I was almost dead. It's so claustrophobic inside. But these people can work for hours inside, and they can work with implements, hand tools, and even cutting machines. Now today, the whole day, it's not been revealed so much that they were metallic obstacles en route, and they actually used metal cutters to actually remove them. The speed which was achieved was almost, well, in 10 meters was achieved in less than 18 hours. My estimate was that they would achieve 3 meters probably in that much time. But they outdid it 3 times, 4 times almost. So it's been an amazing achievement, there's no doubt about it.
Now that's, all of this is happening, you know, we saw that first visual, it was just on the screen of the first worker. And the first ray of hope was when we saw the first video. I think it happened on day 10. The first video of the laborers trapped inside the tunnel. Now, when that video came out, did the pressure also increase? Because the video coming out is not proof that the operation is over. It is only proof that the workers are alive, that they are well. But at the same time, as you look at different ways of trying to rescue them, there must be a risk involved with each, because you have to make sure that the workers are not harmed, that you're cutting through the debris, you're cutting through the rocks and the stone, it doesn't collapse a second time. I presume that must have been a real danger throughout.
Absolutely, Arnab. There were ups and downs which were taking place all the time in the last 17 days. It's a divine intervention that at the beginning itself, we had one lifeline which was still very much alive, in the sense we had a 4-inch compressor pipe which somehow did not get smashed by the debris fall. And that was the crude communication that we had with the workers. You know, we were using that typical old megaphone kind of a technique of communicating with them. But as you very correctly said, 10th, 11th day is the time when a 6-inch probe which had been sent in was successful. This 6-inch probe, we also sent in a laparoscopic kind of a camera, which went in and gave us the first image of a worker from the other end. That created a huge hope. First of all, it proved that they are still healthy. We were so far only presuming that they are healthy. We were only believing what they were telling us. Here, for the first time, we saw in front of us that they are there very much, and the lifeline now started adding to the longevity of the operation, in the sense our ability to take this operation beyond. Because from here, the sustenance started. The Honorable Prime Minister gave orders that cooked food must be sent inside. And that happened immediately. From then onwards, we found cooked food, medicines, clothing, all kinds of implements going inside. And finally, a communication line, which the DOT had put up. The SDRF somehow managed to put it together, and a communication was established. So now the relatives could speak. The relatives could speak to their dear ones. And that added tremendously to the psychosocial aspect and the survivability of the 41 inside. So physiologically, they were okay. From a psychosocial angle, they were okay. And a lot of care was taken to bring psychosocial specialists there to allow them to, through telemedicine methods, to be able to speak to the people inside. Now, these kind of methods haven't ever been used in the past. This is something which was very novel.
You know, this is so impressive, General Hasnain, because General Hasnain, you know, India as a country is building up its infrastructure very fast. And this episode, and I think you spoke about the Prime Minister's involvement, I think that shows a great deal of personal attention the PM was putting into this. With whatever confidentiality, without breaching confidentiality, can you tell us what was the PMO or the PM's instruction in this? And how closely was he in it?
I can confess to you that the Prime Minister was personally monitoring this throughout. I was in touch with the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Dr. Mishra, who was a source of great strength. He was the one receiving the instructions, all the directions which were coming. He was the one holding the conferences. And there were not too many conferences, I can tell you, Arnab. I think the huge thing here was the trust which was somehow seemed to exist. There was an initial conference. Thereafter, everything was on mobile, on WhatsApp groups, through communication, etc. That's how it was happening. And that trust itself was ensuring that everyone was motivated to give his best. There were people volunteering from all over India. Yeah. My mobile phone was absolutely paralyzed. I mean, it was absolutely jammed. The kind of messaging I was getting, offering of help, free of cost. Wow. We enabled some of the best talent to move to the spot. Some people are camping there even till today, former officials of the Indian Army, etc. They did a marvelous job. Anyone who had something small to offer was coming forward. This is the kind of team effort which was taking place. I also need to add, the Prime Minister's office played a huge role as an enabler. Any and every resource which was required, we went back to them. They enabled it. The Indian Air Force played a huge role. The states, different states, starting from Odisha, coming up to Uttarakhand, starting from Gujarat, coming up to Uttarakhand, all the states in the middle, all of them played a role by creating green corridors and ensuring all the equipment which was required moved rapidly. I've never seen this kind of a thing happening in India as such. Everywhere, our officials were talking, and they were deputy commissioners awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, taking calls and ensuring that the movement of these vehicles was never stopped.
I think that's the whole episode. General Hasnain highlights the changing nature of the country. General Hasnain, you've done a remarkable job in looking at this, overseeing it, in communicating it so beautifully to all of us. And it's in professionals like you and the way you put it together that gives this country hope. I thank you for joining me this evening on the Tunnel Victory. Thank you very much, and congratulations, General Atta Hasnain, and from the NDMA. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. What's the